Welcome. This will be my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 5 Episode 11, The Distance. The episode is rated CVMA, so will this video be? There will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. Not for any that came out after it first aired. And yeah, love this episode as I love all the ones before it. Let's dive right in. I really appreciated the way that for so much of this episode, really almost all of it, we're genuinely not quite sure whether or not to trust Aaron. And I love that by the end of the episode, we haven't seen the inside of Alexandria. Just, like, I feel like at this point, I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that there's something, but certainly it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I mean, if there is something they're hiding, I think Aaron might be as unaware of it, or maybe he's just incredibly convincing. Yeah, I don't know. But the yeah. I thought they did a fantastic job on keeping it. There's just enough in either direction, and I think that might more or less cover the. Yeah, I think other than that, it's just scene by scene. Also, because in part because this episode is so different from the last several in a row, so it works really well as yeah, it's yeah, the yeah, that's it. Yes, scene by scene. So, we have the two of them. Oh right, oh shit. Before I go scene by scene, I wanted to mention a couple of things about the episode before this one. I think it's called Them. The commentary track points out that the music box, it's like a little Beth. So that's a good. And they point out the biblical. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna pretend that I have any kind of excuse for. I don't know why I didn't catch the biblical stuff in the episode, so I'm gonna briefly talk about it here. So I thought the way that it keeps going, back and forth, sort of. It's seesawing. Basically, first we see the frogs. A number of dead frogs in a small, within a short amount of time. One of the, I want to say, was it 7 plagues of Egypt? And we have the thing about them, not having access to water, which I appreciate. Technically, what none of the plagues was all the water turning to blood. So that's not quite the same as not having water. I mean, you wouldn't want to drink it, but based on the Old Testament, doesn't seem like the rulers, at the very least, of ancient Egypt. Ra, is that the name? I forget. It's been a while. Yeah. Not sure they minded a bloodbath, but yeah. And then later, the rain. And so, I made a joke about it, but yeah, Gabriel is, of course, he's grateful he sees the water as like answering their prayers. Now he's feeling bad about, having given up the, yeah, priesthood. And uh, yeah, very close to the end, we have the, what's the word? The, hold on, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, the fact that in the morning, the intense wind. I forget if it was a hurricane or a tornado, and I am in no position to define what the difference between those is. Whatever. In Danish, we only, is and are. There's only one word for those, so sometimes I have to. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, whatever, intense wind, whatever it's called. It knocked over a bunch of trees, taking out walkers, but it left the cabin untouched. So, basically, we keep seeing, some, it goes back and forth between God, you know, yeah, between, plagues and blessings. And that, of course, has us wondering, is Aaron, and I believe the name Aaron is biblical, could not tell you what, uh, yeah, what the name, who has that name. Anyway, yeah, has us wondering, is he a blessing or a plague? Yeah, I think that does cover it. As I've mentioned in earlier videos on episodes of this show, I really appreciate the way the show explores religion. This duality of specifically the Christian faith, conservative Christianity, where on the one hand maybe God will, there was the thing about Carol used to pray that something would get Ed, and then she started wondering, wait, is this, am I being punished through Sophia because of, that was when she was missing, presumed Zed. And yeah, I think the show does a really good job with that idea. And yeah, I try to pick up on when it brings up, when it does allusions to parts of the Bible. But yeah, I don't know. Don't know how I missed multiple in one episode, but gonna try to not miss future ones. Just because I don't believe doesn't mean I can't appreciate it, especially when it's this well integrated in media. Now, and I've said it before, it's conservative Christians that I take issue with, not all hashtag not all believers. Yeah. So scene by scene for this one. So yeah. So Sasha and Maggie bring back Aaron, and I love that, like, Sasha's already got a gun on him, and even so, like, everyone in the cabin, like, draws a weapon on, Aaron. Obviously, excluding Judith. She makes finger guns, though. But yeah. And, he points out, it's perfectly understandable, and you have the thing about the yeah. He said, Sasha, could you show Rick my the yeah. Could you give him my backpack so that the what's the word? Uh, um, yeah, could so he can see the pictures. And I love the thing. I'm sorry about the quality. The only camera we could find was like old, and you know, I think it's Daryl who's like, no one gives a shit. Just yeah. I think we all need. I think we've all at one point in our lives experienced something where it would be great if Daryl could like just pop his head and say, "No one gives a shit. Shut up." And sometimes to people we're talking to, sometimes to us ourselves. Is that too self-aware? I have a YouTube channel where I upload daily. Anyway, yeah, yes, I think that yeah, um, there's the thing about um, yeah, the he's so he's talking about oh the we're checking you out, and we know that you're good people, and Rick just goes over, slugs him, and opening title sequence. And I gotta say, at the time, I was sitting there thinking, well, there goes Utopia. Jesus Christ, Rick. I think you just yeah, got them all killed. But based on the end of the episode, doesn't look like it. But yeah, and let's see, yeah, I really, really enjoyed Michonne going, just so we're clear, that was an I think he's okay look, not an attack look. And let's see, yeah, they wake him up, and there's the thing about, should they be setting him up? Okay, they're gonna set him up. And let's see, yeah, I love when he says, I really did mean that people are the most, did he say the most important? A very important, at least, resource. Now, the good faith reading is that he means that humanity is important, that humanity towards other people, and that he feels confident that they are good people. And I'm just really briefly gonna point it. Saj Sharma did a recent video, recent-ish, where he acknowledges that he has to say something about Charlie Kirk because of the subject matter of the video, and he did a truly wonderful multiple take attempt at yeah. Now, yes, so yeah, good faith reading, oh, it's important that good people are hard to come by, and they're how we're gonna save the world, from or make it bearable, despite all the zombies. The bad faith reading is he thinks of like people as just a resource, like what, like cannon fodder, or what exactly do and it's also, you could argue the wording is like it's not that far away from human capital. Now, let's see. Yeah, and the thing about, well, it's hard to trust someone who smiles after getting punched in the face. Jesus Christ, Catch 22. Like, would you like it better if he like shouted obscenities and threatened you? Like, what the fuck? No, I know what he means. It is, again, like, does that smile, is he smiling and like through is, yeah, like, is the smile covering up, like he's sitting there thinking, you can punch me if you want as soon as you get back to camp. Num num. But yeah. Um, I think that pretty well brings us. Yeah, it's very, very Benry. We don't quite know exactly whether or not he can be trusted, because what he says could be read in, yeah, either either direction, as yeah. And let's see. We have the bit where um yeah, so at first, Rick is saying the there's no way that they're gonna look into Alexandria. I quite like the part where Aaron, the thing with, how many how many others of there are out here, by the cars. Does it matter? I mean, yes, it matters how many there are, but does it matter what number I say? Would you believe me whether I said 8, 32, 444, 0, And that again is just, yeah. Um, he's either really good at reading the situation, or he's given this, and like, it's like when he, not terribly long after, he says, you really think we're going to set a trap for you out here, if, please, if I wanted to kill you, I would have gutted you like a fish the moment I walked through the door. But then what kind of a guest would I have been? No, he says, if I was gonna, yeah, I'd set, yeah, get some matches and wait outside for you to come out with a, yeah. That's that, and the that especially, but also somewhat the thing about, does it matter how many I say we are out here? It's like, well, you've given this some thought, um, and yeah, just fantastic balancing on that. Yeah. Anyway, I think that brings us. Let's see. Then we have the thing with the was shit. And yeah, so they several of them are gonna go, and yeah, like Glenn thing is gonna go, and Abraham, when Rick tells him, um and yeah, like, it's very clear that Rick, you know to be clear, I'm not saying that it would necessarily have worked out with Shane. I think he was a little too, you know, he, yeah. But I do think Rick has accepted that if someone else suggests an alternative to his idea, he should be open and have a discussion, or maybe even go ahead and do it. Yeah. And it does help that, he knows none of them are like trying to like mutiny or something. Yeah, I think pretty well brings us to the, let's see. Yeah, so they all go and yeah, not all. The ones that go. And yeah, they find, the number of cars that was said, but they can't quite find, the other person that was supposed to be there. And I quite like the thing with, um, what was the word? They were, yeah, they think that he's like hiding, or maybe multiple people are hiding in the bushes, and then, turns out it's walkers. And let's see, I think, yeah, I really like the, Abraham, he just had to know, was Rosita afraid that he would hurt her, and she says, no, that's not, what it is. Because like after Ellen, he really, it's important to him. And let's see, we have the let's see, yeah, the part where yeah, so Rick, talking to Aaron, and you have, yeah, he says, if they're not back in an hour, I'll you know I'll stab you in the head. That should motivate the pizza delivery to make it on time. And yeah, the Judith is hungry, starts crying, and yeah, Aaron is like, up there, didn't you find the I forget what they're called in English. Apple sauce? Yeah. And not long after, he's like, me and my big applesauce hating mouth. And yeah, he points out, you really think I'm going to poison your baby girl? Which, because like, considering the Gareth did, yeah, that actually, yeah, that was the other character. I'm just gonna double check. That's not something I need to deal with right now. That was the other character that Marquand auditioned for. He did apparently audition for Gareth. I gotta say, so far I'm loving him as Aaron. And the guy who did get Gareth was fantastic there as well. Yeah, we have the thing with yeah, so yeah, he points out, you already said that you're going to kill me in less than an hour. How would poisoning your daughter possibly help matters, And then he's like, no, please, not applesauce. I hate applesauce. The only thing I hate more than applesauce is bananas. And maybe he just needs to wash his hands. Is that enough? I think that's enough that you could probably guess what I'm referencing. And if not, I really don't want to give too much away about that particular episode of South Park. Now you should know. But yeah. Um, and the thing of, he points out, no, like it's self-preservation. I know I'm the first person gone if the walkers get here. And then Rick is like, well, you said you were the first person gone if the walkers get here. How much do you hate applesauce? And yeah, he does ultimately. That's also, he says, my mom thought it would make me, like it would toughen me up or something like that. Um, I don't know how I didn't get from that, as we find out by the end of the episode, he's not straight. So yeah. Now I think that does great when they're driving, and yeah, the thing about, Michonne is able to convince Rick that they at least drive to the camp. Unfortunately, well, yeah. So even she is not like, I think she might even be the one who says to Aaron, "You're not driving, that's not going to happen." And that again is such a, like, is Aaron hoping to lure them into something, or is there some like what's it called, like some kind of, is, maybe the people of Alexandria would read them as enemies if they don't see him, if they don't see Alexandrians at the wheel. So yeah, really, really well done there. Yeah, I think does that pretty well get us to, so yeah, they're driving, and you have the thing with the let's see, so yeah, they'll go at night so they can get away without being seen. And they do, they drive some, and then, we have the thing about, you keep saying the people of Alexandria. Why are there no pictures of the people in these, these photographs? And he says, oh, we did a group shot, but the exposure was messed up. And that's one of those things, because, like, by the end of the episode, I believe him. But yeah, for a while there, I'm thinking, that sounds like an excuse. But then he did say that the camera was, old and worn. So yeah, I don't know why anybody would wear a camera. It's not clothes, but yeah, really, really nicely done on that. And Michonne points out, did you give him the 3 questions? And she administers, and then we have the thing about, they drive through like some zombies, And then there's a bit where we're just seeing like from above, like bird's eye view, and we just see them run over one zombie after another. And now I just really want like a top down zombie killing game. Was there one on like wow, holy shit, I used that website used to be my second home, and now I can't even remember the name of it. Uh, okay, never mind. Whatever. There was a website that hosted a bunch of Flash games, um, among other things. Yeah. Anyway, I think yeah, and they have to like wipe off the blood from the windshield and remove like parts from the engine got like clogged with zombie guts and parts and such. And they do manage to drive some further. Or wait, shit, was that the last? God damn it, I don't remember. But then we have the flare, and then Aaron says, "This is over." What is this? And later I get what he means by this, as in this is over, is I'm done trying to convince you. If this is like, because he has to save his partner, and that's really really sweet. More than anything, what matters is people, as he said. Um, and yeah, like he, you know, kicks open door, starts running, and they run after him, and yeah. Um, right. One of the things that also gets their um, oh, that I think that might be why they start actually. At first it's an accident to run over zombies in the road. I think it's the discovery of the listening device, um, which is also like, I mean, he did say he was, because like as soon as you see that, you are thinking, oh shit, that's like, but yeah, I mean, he said they were, like following them, and yeah, um, and also the thing about the license plates, and yeah, because like at first we're like, that seems vaguely serial killer. And then later it's confirmed because like, um, the thing with you lost the license plate, didn't you? um, but yeah, and so they chase after him. I seriously thought that this was it for Glenn. I was so relieved. Holy shit! Like he good bit of uh imp- yeah, improvisation that he grabs the zombie by its head and just bashes its brains in, like, or lack of brains. Speaking of improv, I hate the word audition because it makes it sound like we're a dance troupe, and that's only on Fridays. And cut to like, just no expression, reaction shot, wonderful. Um, Okay, so I don't know exactly what his role is back in Alexandria. I don't think he was the stand-up comedian. And yeah, um, but they all managed to reunite, and um, the yeah, I love the part where, okay, look, you want to tie me up again, fine, but and yeah, so they go to where the flare was fired, and the yeah, when they get there, Maggie has already helped with the leg as much as possible, and yeah, um, Rick ultimately doesn't give him that long, but he does give Aaron a little bit of time to talk. I mean, you've got the listening device. Oh wait, no, that's back in the car. I was thinking Rick could spy in on them. No, don't do that. Hopefully no one watching me needs to hear that. Yeah. Um, there's some people that I think might. Yeah. Has the quartering gotten more creepy, or am I just... Yeah. What? Those two things have nothing to do with each other. I'm not saying that the quartering is someone who would spy on people. I'm just saying he's tremendously creepy whenever it comes to women. Now, yeah, that... yes. So the... I also... It was very, very sweet, the big passionate kiss when they're reunited. And let's see, we have the yeah, the thing where, listen, if you want to keep me from going into to be with him, you're gonna have to shoot me. And there's like a couple of seconds where Rick is like, will they let us into Alexandria if we only bring back one of you? Aaron seemed like such a nice guy. Too bad Romer's got him. But yeah, ultimately, I forget who, but one of the others steps in. It's like, no, of course, we're going to let the two of them be together, I don't know. I guess it's possible that it's just been so long since Aaron ran into, a homophobe. I don't know. Maybe they don't have that many cops in Alexandria. Thing. I'm not saying they're all homophobic, though they do definitely have issues with white supremacy. ACAB. Yeah, I think that brings us to the... yeah, really love the mood is completely different when they're driving there at the end, playing cards and just like, yeah. I also like the thing with, Abraham, finally got his Twinkies. I mean, yeah, whatever the fuck those things were called. And it's like, I once saw Rex down 3 things of these. 4. He knew if I got my hands on them, they'd be gone. And the fact that, because like, obviously in reality, it is like sunlight because it's early in the day when they arrive. But the very bright, like they're at the end. I just saw a real bright light, and I don't think it was time travel. They're saying like this is heaven. Yeah, I think that is everything for this episode. Yeah, I can hardly wait to find out more about Alexandria, and it won't be very long. Yeah. So I think that does cover... I also thought they did a really good job of giving a lot of personality to... I'm terribly sorry, I forget his name, but Aaron's partner. In very, very little screen time. Also, when Red Noah gets the I know I'm sure it's time for his pills. I really wanted to let him sleep. Oh, these are for you. That's how much things have shifted. Like they're like, oh, here, have some painkillers, for, I mean, okay, it's uncomfortable. I'm not speaking from experience. To outright, yeah, against like rope burn, I guess. I wonder if those are Tylenol. Like, did they not hear Trump at all about how bad those are for you? I do think it is genuinely funny, and I know I'm not the first person to make this observation. Trump wouldn't have gotten sued over that if the shit. Right now I'm forgetting if maybe it was a joke someone made that he was getting sued. I don't know if anyway, if hypothetically he is or will be or was being sued, then it's just because he couldn't remember like the the name of the active drug, because you don't get sued over that. But Tylenol, that's an actual specific product that he was saying was harmful. Yeah, I think that does right. I love the thing about So, how much further until and the monument, I want to say it's called. Um, yeah, the and the and I was also, before Rosita said it, I was also going like, eyes on the road, eyes on the road. But the thing with yeah, how much further? Oh, it's it's miles. We're gonna make it. Wonderful bit of, because like earlier, not in this episode, but I want to say it was the episode before this one. Certainly recently. There's the thing about what was it like? How much how much more do you think? Yeah, I forget the exact words, but like Maggie and Sasha were talking about, how much more do you think, kind of thing. So, and it was taken as, well, there's X amount of miles, and when Abraham says we're gonna make it, it's also meant to mean, they're gonna be okay. Say the goddamn words. Yeah, that is what I have for this one. Really looking forward to the next one. Yes. I really desperately want there to be an outtake of the bit where, yeah, Mr. Grimes, uh, you know, pops in and, you know, yeah, now I remember his name. Aaron's partner says, Eric. And when Mr. Grimes says, Rick, I I would love for there to be an outtake where where Eric then goes, close. There's an before the Rick, and then you're set.